Welcome to The Tonight Show. I'm Schmimmy. This evening we are joined by 18-time All-Star, 5-time NBA champion, and Oscar winner Kobe Bryant. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Before we begin, can we shoot some hoops?
Of course. Let's go.
Kobe. 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 So we all know you're an amazing athlete. You've played in many places, and specifically Italy. You actually grew up there. So how did your different childhood affect you?
Well, I was born in a town right outside of Philly, and I moved because of my dad. He wasn't feeling like the NBA was really fulfilling him. So we went to Italy. And I learned the whole language, I learned the culture, and man, it was different. I needed to adjust, and from then on, I used that skill for the rest of my life. Italy also taught me the fundamentals of basketball, and there were a lot of coaches there that I'm very grateful for.
Speaking of your upbringing, why were you named Kobe?
Funny story. My dad, Joe Bryant, played in Philly for the 76ers. In Philly, there's also a Japanese steakhouse that they often ate at. Ironically, they didn't have any Kobe steak, but he still loved the restaurant and the high status of Kobe steak. So, here I am.
Awesome. Well, we know your father played basketball, but was that your dream? And did you like any other sports?
Well, from the start, I loved basketball, and both sides of the family played basketball, including my mom and her brother. So I guess it was just in my genes. And fun story, in 8th grade, I had the choice to join sports teams, and after living in Italy for 8 years, I picked up soccer, and I would play it really often. I loved it, not as much as basketball, but enough. Eventually, the coaches found out and told me I couldn't play, and to this day, I still love it.
Since you started so young and was surrounded by NBA players, did you take your dad's gameplay?
Well, not really. He was flowy, all instinct, no calculation. I was pretty much the opposite. I approached it and I was calculating every time. Like, I was going to go 3 steps this way, then spin, and then up. I was precise with my plan. My dad, he went off with feeling and just let it all go.
Who else did you play with growing up?
Of course, I joined leagues and teams. And when I was little, I didn't play that great, actually. I had many games where I didn't even score a single point. But then, later, when I did grow, there wasn't really competition. So I made my own. And I played my cousin, Sharif Butler, and he kicked my butt every time. He was a few years older. But it was our thing, and I always was up for the challenge.
Speaking of teams, is it true that you and Kevin Hart went to the same basketball camp?
Yeah, it was an overnight basketball camp. We pulled pranks all night, and we bunked together. He really just followed me around the whole time, and he even asked me what I thought he'd end up D1-wise. And I just laughed and walked off. But us Philly kids gotta stay together.
You must have sensed your greatness. What was one thing you think helped you get so good?
Well, I believe that the base of my success comes from my confidence. People told me all the time how crazy it was that I was 17 and so confident in my abilities. And I put myself in that position. It was more like a balance, a life balance. I worked as hard as I could, but at the end of the day, I didn't overwork myself, and I kept that balance.
Using that balance, how'd you do in school?
Lots of people believed that people like me needed basketball to get into college. But they didn't know that I was a straight-A student pretty much my whole life. My school had high academic standards and is known for it, actually. I always loved proving people wrong, and I actually found a love in poetry and music. I never took my studies lightly.
Well, it sounds like you did a lot. Did you have time for many friends?
No, I didn't have too many growing up. Mostly my sister's friends. They always looked out for me, but the social scene was never really mine. I had people to talk to, but when I was in high school, people were more in awe of me than anything. I didn't go to parties, and people I did talk to were on my basketball team. I did have people to support me, but I was more on the quiet side.
Last but not least, what's the best advice you would give to a kid growing up?
Well, to achieve a goal, you have to set a goal. Mine was to play in the NBA directly out of high school, and it took a lot of hard work. And I was fortunate enough, at the age of 13 and 14, to know that it would.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Schmimmy.
You're so welcome. Kobe Bryant, everyone. Ow, my forearms hurt.
Hey, 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 hey.